Definitely Cannibal Holocaust for me. That movie is hard to get through. Plus people on this sub kept saying Hostel is worse, but emo Cannibal Holocaust is way more disturbing and much more realistic. The Hostel doesn't even come close. Couldn't agree more. And Eli Roth's actual attempt at doing his nice serial killer documentaries in chill vintage shirt. Agreed. It's not the kind of movie I can just watch in one sitting for entertainment. It's not a linear narrative film and isn't meant to be. It's and one with some fantastically unsettling imagery emo. To be fair, John Waters' filmography could fill a thread of disturbing movies. But this is the ultimate piece of trash cinema and certainly his masterpiece. Nice serial killer documentaries in chill vintage shirt. Tank top, V-neck. Ladies' tee for men and women. Tank top, V-neck. Johnny Knoxville has said it was an inspiration for Jackass. And Waters in return said Jackass is the closest thing he's seen to. The plot, as loose as it is, follows Babs Johnson and her nice serial killer documentaries in chill vintage shirt, who make their living selling drugs to school children and kidnapping women to impregnate, and then sell the babies to lesbian couples. What follows is essentially a competition to outdo each other to earn this title. Effectively made without a budget by Waters and his friends. Everything on the screen, with the exception of the castration scene and when a bunch of police officers are murdered and eaten, was actually done in real life. Official nice serial killer documentaries in chill vintage sweatshirt, hoodie, sweatshirt, hoodie. A live chicken used during a sex scene was killed in the process and eaten by the cast and crew as they had no catering budget. It all culminates in what is, to this day, probably one of the most disgusting scenes of all time involving real dog feces. A truly important film that stands the test of time. Everything Waters made in the 70s is like this. Pink Flamingos is easily the most extreme and the most memorable. But I'd never recommended any of his nice serial killer documentaries in chill vintage shirt. But they're all so much fun. And it's even more fun when you think about the fact that everyone was probably on a ton of drugs while filming everything. You wouldn't think of making a movie where you eat dog poo. Other products.